What's up, YouTube? Zachary Michaels here. I'm an actor, and this is An Actor Reacts. Today we'll be reacting to Never Say Never, the second studio album from Miss Brandy Norwood. Let's get into it. Before we get started, if you're new to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. Never Say Never is a second studio album from Brandy, released on June 9th, 1998. The album was mostly produced by Rodney Darkchild Jerkins, who would go on to become Brandy's mentor and the head producer for some of her subsequent albums. The album debuted at number 3 on the US Billboard 200, selling 160,000 copies in its first week, and the album remained in the top 20 of the chart for 28 weeks straight. 8 of the 16 songs on the album were chosen as singles, with songs like The Boy Is Mine and Have You Ever both topping the Hot 100, and Top of the World becoming an international chart topper. Worldwide, the album has sold 17 million copies and became both her highest selling and highest charting album to date for most international markets. Okay, so I'm not even going to talk to y'all for too long because this video has been so highly requested that I'm excited to listen to the album. So let's just get right into Never Say Never. Track 1 is the intro. I love a good intro now. Let's listen. Ooh. Okay, that was just the intro. I love a good intro, man, and that caught me from the plane, and then that beat, and then just the vibe on the Never Say Never. Real good. That wasn't even a real track. That was 50 seconds, and I'm already into this. Let's go on to the first real song, track 2, Angel in Disguise. Again, the beat. And I like that background thing.
An angel has always been thought to be one of God's most precious works. Hurt and pain can never come from her.
Better spit some spoken word. Okay, background.
And now you see an angel was a fake. But my love was never misplaced. See, baby, my love is true. And most importantly, still I love you.
Oh. Hey, man. I haven't said much because I'm really just like taken in by this. Yo. I was like in a trance. I barely said anything throughout because I was like so taken in by the song, and I didn't want to miss anything. Like, really good. First and foremost, like the production, so good. Like that beat, just like addictive, and then like the background vocals, great. Her voice is in that like kind of sultry, seductive zone. It just everything about this song really good. Like perfect way to start off an album. Like, and I'm already seeing like a progression from her first project, because this came out in 98, so this is like 4 years later, so she's like 18, 19 here. Definitely feels more mature already, and like it feels like what am I trying to say? It feels like that first album I liked, but it definitely felt very 94. It was like fresh and fun, but it was very like 94. This album, or this song I should say, it could come out at any, like this song could come out today and I feel like it'd be a hit. And like she wouldn't have to update anything, because I said some of the songs on that first album too were like fresh, that if she changed a few things and released them, they could still be hits. But like this, I don't think she needs to change anything on this song. It would just be a hit as is. Like production, vocals, backgrounds. I love her spoken word at the start. She has a kind of like soothing speaking voice. It's like calming, I guess. And then it kind of reminds me, I know people said that B7 was like making nods to all her previous works, but like this song reminds me of like kind of that first half of B7 where it's a little more sultry and seductive, except this had a little more bass to it, so it was a little more up tempo. It's still like not an up tempo song, but it had a little more bass, so it, you know, it had a little more thump than that first half of B7. But I'm just rambling now. I really enjoyed that. Really good song. Let's go into the next track. Okay, track 3 is The Boy's Mine with Monica, and I've said this already, but I know this song. I love this song. I found this in like 2003 or 4, and like as a kid, I just kept replaying it and replaying it and replaying it and replaying it. Like, I love this song. So this one isn't even going to be a reaction. It's going to be more like a sing-along, but it's got a music video, so we're going to watch and sing along as we watch. I apologize in advance. And they both look so beautiful in this video. And that beat, oh. Pfeiffer, no good. This beat, man, everything about this song is so good. Give it on now. I love this part. I love like the timbre in her voice. I don't know if that's the right word. No good. Love that song, everything about it. Brandy and Monica killed it. Love like the video where they turn on him. Shout out to Mekhi Phifer. Again, that production, like Darkchild. I'm pretty sure this Darkchild did his thing, like so good. And what I was trying to say at the end is I love the I said timbre. I don't know if that's a term, but I love like the weakness, not weakness. That's not the word. Like it's like a light pleading that Brandy has in her voice in this song, like especially at the end. It's like, I don't know. I can't even do it. I can't explain it. But it's like the word weak keeps coming to mind, but it's not weak because it's very strong. But it's like soft and like it's like soft and pleading and like I don't know. I hope y'all know what I'm trying to say, but I love this song. So good. Like there's a reason why this song was such a big hit because it's just so good. Anyway, let's go on to track 4. Track 4, Learn the Hard Way. Hey. This kind of feels like Aaliyah. Like back and back, forth. No, maybe not. She's really in touch with that like deepness of her voice, like the huskiness on this album so far. Yeah, girl. Kept it going. She's showing off her voice on this one, like on the chorus. See, that's what I mean. That like kind of weakness is not the right word. It's like raw. It's very raw vocals. Like that. That when she's like pleading, it just sounds so raw and. Okay, Learn the Hard Way. Another good track. I think I was saying how like laid back her voice was on most of the album, and it started off that way on this song. Like the first half maybe felt like more of like she was like kind of rapping almost, and like just flowing, and then like midway through, like she had that rap singy vibe going under, but she was like really vocalizing and singing on top of it. Really good. And then I finally figured out what the word is. It's definitely not weak. It's like I love how raw her voice is so far on this album. Like when she's pleading, you really feel like it feels like she's on her like last life, and like she's been crying and screaming, and like her voice is just like pleading. It's like really, it's in that raw state, which I love, and it's really working for these songs, especially when she like goes up there and she's like, please. It just really brings me in when her voice is like that. just so good. That's all I got on Learn the Hard Way. I heard this song when she performed it at the 2020 census, and I really loved it there. And I've been trying to hold myself off from listening to it until like I did the album review. So I'm really excited for this one. And this one was a single, so it has a music video. So we're gonna watch as we listen. I wouldn't trust that girl. Don't get in that car. You were finally free. What was always missing for you, babe? You found it in me. But you can't get to heaven, half off the ground. Everybody knows. Can't get to heaven half off the ground. That part. Hey. I love that part of the song. Oh, that's the part. Every time you build me up, you only let me down. Everybody knows, almost doesn't count. Can't keep on living, can't keep. I love the guitar. Everybody knows, almost doesn't count. She even looks more mature here. She's a grown woman now. That guitar, I love a nice like guitar. Killed it. That honestly, I'll say so far, that might be my favorite song. Even higher than The Boy's Mind, and I've loved that song for years, but this song, like, her voice sounds so just like sexy and sultry and just like full and deep, and I love the way she's using it on this song. And then I love that like all I need is a nice guitar sometimes, just a like that's great. Yo, I don't even have words. I really love that song, and it's definitely apparent how much her voice has grown since that first album. She looks great, sounds great. I like the video. Video was simple, but it had that just kind of freeing, angelic, heavenly vibe that the song has. And that voice, man, that voice. I have so many things to say, but I can't find the words. But I love that song. This album, man. What are we? That was track 5, and I really love every song so far. Let's go on to track 6. Track 6 is Top of the World featuring Mace. Let's watch.
Brandy, Darkchild, kid, all I'm on the rise. Move like Kyle.
Okay, a little more up tempo, mid tempo. Mace with the lazy flow in a good way. Oh. Never heard this song. The beat goes though. Hey. I love to see her dancing. Hey. I like her flow on this. Okay. Okay, you better dance with her, Mace. Okay. Brandy all over the world. Okay, Top of the World. Cool song, but I'm not gonna lie, you don't put that track after the masterpiece that was Almost Doesn't Count. Like the first half of the song, I was just like really confused because I was still in a trance from Almost Doesn't Count, and then I was just like, what is this? But I did like it as the song went on. Like the second half I really enjoyed. I like Brandy's flow on that song, and then I like Mace's second verse a lot, and like seeing them dancing together. And she has some cool vocal moments on there, but it really threw me off because I was like, Almost Doesn't Count was just so good. And this song isn't bad. If I'd heard it in another position, maybe I would have been vibing more throughout, but like after Almost Doesn't Count, it just really didn't fit for me. Do like this song though, but wish it was somewhere else on the album, because I was in my like seductive moody phase. Oh, but also shout out to Darkchild on the beat. I feel like all these beats are gonna be amazing because that beat just went, man. Like really good beat, like Brandy's flow, like Mace's second verse, like seeing them dance. It really threw me off. Okay, let's go on to the next track. You Don't Know Me Like You Used To. This song has an original version as well as a remix, and they both have music videos, so we're gonna watch both. First up is the original. Okay. Okay, seems like the album is picking up a little tempo. Hey. 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 That thing on me. Better be grown. I really like this, the beat and the attitude she's giving. This reminds me of that Whitney Houston song. The Friday night you and your boys went out to eat. That one. I forget the name. You Don't Know Me Like You Used to. Another good track. I like the vibe of that one. I love when Brandy gives attitude, and she was definitely giving it on that song. And then I just like her flow, because she's kind of almost on some of these songs. She's kind of almost like rapping. Like she's got a real like melodic kind of rappy flow type thing going on, and it works well for her, especially when she's like using the like shadowy you don't have a shadowy voice, but like kind of the husky, like raspy, shadowy voice that she has on this song. It works really well with the flow that's more like rap sung. But let's get into the remix. Oh, and this is featuring Shanta and the Brad. I don't know who Shanta is. Let's watch. Okay. Added a little more kick to it.
Come here, control your dance. Top the world, girl, let them can't play.
I don't know who she is, but I like her flow. Actually, her voice sounds familiar. Darkchild, what? That's some auto-tuning going on in the back. Better innovate. Hey. It's like everything's amplified on this one. Everything's a little more hard-hitting. Her vocals, the beat, her attitude in the video. Hey. Better dance, girl. This feels like the Moesha intro. Give that attitude. Okay, You Don't Know Me Like You Used to remix. Really good. The original was like a little more chill, but the remix like pumped it up. Like everything was amplified. Her vocals were a little more aggressive. The beat would hit a lot harder. The attitude she was giving in the video, both the Brad and Shanta, I believe, like killed their verses. Really good. Like I really like both versions of this song. Man, Brandy, you killing it, girl. Let's go on to the next song. Now we're on the title track, Never Say Never. This was the intro, right? Or they took a piece of this in the intro, I believe. Okay, that was Never Say Never. I think a shining part of this album, other than just her voice, is how she's flowing on all these songs. Because she's using her voice differently. It's like I said, more of like a rap sing type thing, and it's working really well while like showing off her like natural tone. Kind of like what I said about Sitting Up in My Room, that the beat it's big enough on its own. So for a lot of these songs, she's really just like riding the beats and showing off her tone and like flowing really well over them. I love when she gets into that deep, rich pocket of her voice that's more sultry. I do. This was not my favorite track though. Again, not a bad song. There hasn't been a bad song yet, but I don't know. I don't know what I expected, but it's like in the middle of the pack for me, which is weird because it's like the title track, but good, and I like her flow and of course the beats. Let's go on to track 9, Truthfully. I like how light she is. Ooh. Truthfully, I liked it. It's kind of that classic 90s ballad. Did Darkchild produce this one as well? Because that feels different than the other Darkchild beats on the album. Like I said, that one's more like classic 90s ballad, and I feel like his beats usually have a bit more oomph and bass to it, and they're like a little different than the standard 90s song. But I did like it. I think that she had some really good vocal moments on there. And then I just really like the lyrical content of the song. Like, I'm always going to be truthful with you because I love you. I know you've been hurt in the past, but with me, you're going to get the truth no matter what. So I really like that. Good song. Again, not my top of the top, not the bottom. Somewhere in the middle, an album track, but really a good song with a good message and good vocals, of course, from Miss Brandy. Track 10 is Have You Ever? Let's watch. This played at the beginning of the 2020 census performance as she was walking in. I love how full the vocals sound. And angelic. I definitely recognize this song though. She looks so good there. Oh yeah, I definitely know this song. So beautiful. I do know this. I know this song from this scene. This part. Let me listen. I'll say it at the end. She looks good with the black lipstick and the suit. Sing, girl. Ooh. So bad. There was a video of Nene Leakes singing this. I remember that part from that.
What do I gotta say to get to you, to make you understand how I need you next to me? Have you ever loved someone? Have you ever needed something so bad? Just can't sleep at night.
Now this is another one of my tops. Really good song. And her voice vocals on it, so good. Like those moments where she like was going up there, so good. And the moments when she was down there, so good. Now what I was trying to say during was I recognize that song from the part with the when she's like in the black lipstick and the suit and tie. From those, you know, those old commercials that used to play on like BET at like 2 a.m. with like the compilation albums. Like that's what I know it from. So I know like that section of the song that used to play in the commercial, like the R&B volume 85. Like that's what I know it from. Hilarious. So I had that like image in that like those few seconds stuck in my head. But just really good song. That song, like, there literally has not been a bad song so far. Like, Brandy killed that. I like the video. She looks so beautiful in it. This album, man, Brandy's really doing her thing. And I like that first album, and I like B7, but she is really doing her thing with this one. Yeah, let's go on to the next track. Okay, I love that guitar, man. For some reason with the title, I was expecting like an up-tempo. Ooh. I love the backgrounds and like how full it is. Or not even backgrounds, I think that's just like one voice, hers. I like how she's changing her voice between the verses and the chorus. Oh yeah. Hey. Oh, I love those runs. Yes. Hey, girl. I really like this one. This is one of my favorites for sure. Okay, ma'am. Put that on everything. Another great track. With that one, I found it really interesting how she kind of used her voice three different ways on the song. Like the chorus was more like that. I keep saying shadowy, but like husky or like raspy tone, and that's a little more like dragged out. That was for the chorus, and then the verses were kind of like a little more. Her voice was like a little more stern, I guess. Like it definitely changed up between the chorus and the verses, and I really like that. And then towards the end, she added on the like woom woom that she does with her voice, and that worked really well. I loved the runs on the song. She was killing the runs on this song. Just really good because it kept intriguing me every time she would change her voice, and I'd get caught up in that, and then she changed it again, and I'd get caught up in that, and really good one. And let me just say, a lot of these songs are like 5 minutes, and I'm not feeling it at all because they're all so interesting to listen to and to get into, and that is a real testament because not everybody should have long songs, and not even not everybody should have long songs, but not everybody can, or not everyone has earned that, and she earned all these songs because even some songs that I like from some other people, I feel like, well, this could have been like 3 minutes instead of 8, or 5 or whatever. But these, she's really like, she's milking every second of it, and I never feel like it's redundant or it's like, okay, can we finish this up? It just feels like, oh, it's over now. This girl, man, this woman, crazy talented. Track 12, In the Car Interlude. She's getting in the car.
Hello?
Rodney?
Fred.
I'm sorry. Hi, Freddie.
It'll be rocking.
Nothing. I miss you, man.
Be Rocka.
Hello? Yeah.
What are you doing?
Now working on another joint.
Really? For who?
For you.
I was gonna say I'm about to start beefing with you.
Brandy.
Huh?
Another hot joint.
For real?
You wanna hear it?
Yeah, I wanna hear it.
Yo, Ken, cut it up.
Oh, and track 13, Happy, because it kind of leads into it, so we're just gonna listen to both. I like that beat. Hey. Love that beat, the tinging in the back. Okay, and the car interlude / happy. I'm glad that the next track started playing because I was gonna say I don't know if that song was really needed, or if that interlude was really needed, but it led really well into happy, and I liked seeing like a little bit of her personality, I guess. And then happy, definitely the best up tempo on the album so far. Really good. That again, that beat, like so good. Like that just had me going instantly. And then I liked when she uses her more subdued, laid back vocals on an up tempo because the like contrast really makes both shine, both her voice and the beat shine. And then I love the little runs. I love her runs in general, but I love the little runs that she was doing on top in this song. Happy, another of my favorites. Like I said, for sure, the top up tempo so far. Track 14 is One Voice. It feels like a spaceship again. That reminds me of the All My Lives off of B7. Just like a little country. Oh no, it's not country.
It may sound strange, but it was true beyond description. If I got one chance, I sing it from the heart. One song, one voice, I sing vibes.
Ooh, come in, choir. This feels real 90s. The build reminds me of like a Whitney song. The runs, man. Sing. I like this part. Yes, ma'am. Okay, choir. One voice. And she's got a hell of one. Like vocally, I loved this song. Like she wasn't like, this song was a little different like vocally from kind of the rest of the album, because she had none of the like huskiness or raspiness or like the more subdued vocals. Like this song, she was just like full out singing. Like, and I feel like I'm gonna say it every album, or I've said it like every video almost, but Brandy needs to make that gospel EP, because her voice just really lends itself to that, especially like with this one with the choir in the background. It just sounds so full, and her voice just lends itself to it, that her tone just screams like gospel. Really good. Though I will say, production wise, I wasn't really a fan, but the vocals made up for it. But I feel like this is another song that maybe Darkchild didn't do, or maybe he did, but this doesn't feel like the other like fresh beats on the album. This feels very much 90s big ballad number. But again, vocally, it was just so good that it like overshadowed, or I didn't care as much about the beat because the vocals were so good. But that was definitely the weakest part of the song, was the production and the beat. Though I did like it at some points, but it was usually when like the vocals were getting big and good, and that's when the beat was getting big and good. So that song really relied on the vocals. If another singer had done this who wasn't Brandy, who couldn't sing how she can, then I probably wouldn't have liked that song. But the vocals really saved that one for me. Just the production kind of fell flat. So let's go on to track 15. Tomorrow.
Confused. I mean, at one point I thought I was wrong.
That sounds just like Moesha. Obviously, she is Moesha, but
I won't hurt anymore.
okay.
Cause now all my pain is gone. So long. So long.
Oh. We about to get a beat change. I was expecting a little more of a drop. I do like the strings. So sweet. It's so moody and like compelling. It really pulls you in. The vocals. She's like, Tomorrow. I like that one. I'm trying to find the words to describe it. It was very much like telling a story almost. Like her words, the only thing that's coming to mind is like seductive, but it wasn't necessarily seductive. I think that might just be like naturally her voice, but it was more so like just pulling you in with every word, like in how she was singing. It was very like, you know, the more she sang, the more I was like brought into it, and I don't really even know how to describe it. It's crazy. There's just so many elements to her voice in different ways that she can use it, and it's all just so interesting to the ear that I can't even find the words to describe it. And then I loved the beat. I really got acclimated to it more and more as the song went on, and it worked really well because it had that same kind of feel. Like she's pulling you in, and the beat is pulling you in, and you just have to listen. And it's just so interesting. Like her voice and the things that she can do are just crazy to me. Let's go on to the last track. Everything I do it for you. Now, I obviously know the original version, but let's listen to Brandy's cover. Oh, is this like for the fans? I like the more R&B vibe they added to it. She looks super young here. Probably because she's fresh-faced. No makeup or anything. Beautiful. Okay, that was the last track on this album. Everything I do it for you. And Brandy put her own spin on a classic song, and she killed it. And I really liked the video because it felt like it was kind of like, this is for the fans, because she was showing all her other singles and videos throughout. So for me, it felt like this is like everything I do for my fans, and kind of thanking them for how far they gotten her, because she was very successful by this point, with acting and music and just like overall superstar. So I like that that was like a love letter on her second album to her fans. But that's Never Say Never. I really enjoyed this album. To say Brandy did her thing, that would be an understatement. Like, this album is so good, and I'll tell you more about that in my final thoughts. Okay, Never Say Never. Really good album. I have like so many thoughts and feelings that I had to like write them all down, and I'm going to be referring to my screen a lot just to make sure I don't like miss anything, because there was so much that I want to say. First and foremost, out of the 3 albums that I've heard so far, so that's her debut, B7, and now Never Say Never, I've got to say that this is the best upon first listen. I don't know how it'll stack up later, but like first listen through, definitely the strongest as far as that aspect. With her debut, I liked it on the first listen, but it's gone down a little bit for me just because I haven't listened to it as much as I thought I would after doing the review. B7, I also liked it on first listen, but now I've really grown to love that album the more time goes on and the more I listen. But with Never Say Never, like first listen through, I'm already loving it. So we'll see how it goes later, but right now, like upon first listen, this is definitely the strongest of the 3 projects that I've heard. This album flows really well. Like, it flows so well, except for maybe placing Top of the World after Almost Doesn't Count. That's my minor like about the like flow of the album, but for most of the album, it feels like right and everything, back to back to back, so good. Even songs that I didn't love, I like strongly liked. Like, this album is really well put together. It's more mature than her debut album for sure. So you feel her growth. There's no like Sunny Day, which Sunny Day was probably my least favorite off of that debut project, just because it felt so childish and kiddie, but she was childish and kiddie at the time. But now we're like 4 years later, and she's like 18, 19 now, and you definitely feel the maturity. And there's also no super like dated ballads. Like, there's a good amount of ballads on it, but they for the most part feel fresh, except for One Voice did feel a little 90, like feel very like of the time, like 90s ballad with not anything fresh. But again, like, that's one little piece. 99% of this album feels young and fresh, but still mature, and you can feel that she's growing. And I always bring up this, like, feels fresh and doesn't feel dated, doesn't feel like the 90s thing, because I feel like that's a real testament of an album. If it can be played at any time and still feel good. I say that like I'm like this music expert, you know, but I'm just somebody who loves to like indulge and listen to music. And so that's my criteria. What else? And I say that because 99% of this album feels so good, and I think that is a testament really to Darkchild. Like, the production and the beats on these songs, like, out of this world, man. Like I know of Darkchild for sure, and I know a bunch of his songs, and I love a bunch of his songs, but like hearing this like complete project of like 98% Darkchild songs, it feels like, yeah, there's a reason why he's so like sought after. There's a reason why he's got such a name for himself in this industry, because like this album came out in 98 and it still feels fresh and good in 2020. Like, did his thing. What else? Every beat he produced is a banger. Oh, some of the songs like remind me of like other songs maybe that came out in the 90s. And I mentioned a few of those like throughout. Like I said, the Whitney Houston song. And there were some others that were in my head, but when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, most of those songs were probably produced by Darkchild too. Like, he has a signature sound and style, which is, I think that's so important that people have, like, that you like, oh, that's a Darkchild song, without sounding like redundant. Like, every beat, I was like, oh yeah, this is Darkchild, but it wasn't like boring. And maybe some of them, the ones that I thought they sounded like, could have just been like people mimicking his sound because it was that great. And just Darkchild, like, props to you times 1,000. You really did your thing. What else? Oh, his production mixed with Brandy's vocals, like, chef's kiss. Like, I guess we can get into Brandy now, because, like, this is her album and she's what's bringing people in. But, like, the way that she's singing on this album, really good. Like, that's an understatement, really good. Like, it's like, because she's, sorry, I'm getting flustered, but she is able to use her voice in so many ways. And it's not always these, like, super, like, acrobatic ways that you automatically know, like, this is like, oh wow, yeah, she can hit that note, she can do that, but she's using it in ways that are, like, really subtle, where that seem kind of simple, but when you think about it, it's like, oh no, like, you need such control to do what she's doing. Like, she really shines on this album, and you can hear the maturity in her voice. Like, it's a lot more sexy and a lot more sultry, and it's got more rasp to it. It's just like a husky, full sound. And I love when she gets those light moments too on this album, when she's just kind of floating over the beat. That's another thing. I love how she just rides on Darkchild's beats. She does it so well. And I love when she's just super, like, light on a song. And I mentioned in my other videos how I love, like, with, like, Begging and Pleading or Freedom Rings, when she does those super rough vocals. And I love those. But I also love when she's just, like, super light and floating over a beat. And they're like the two opposite ends of the spectrum, and they both work really well from her. What else? Oh, she has a bunch of those classic runs on here, which are great. Her voice has really, it was deep on the first one, but it's deepened even more by this second album, and it's just so, like, soothing and warm. And then the raw vocals, when she's really, like, pleading and, like, I don't want to say screaming, what she's like pleading for you to be there for her and love her. And anytime she's pleading on this album, it just sounds so raw. And early on, I was saying weak because I couldn't think of the word, but it's definitely raw, and it's just so compelling because it's like, gosh, you really want this. Anytime she got to those, like, raw vocal moments, I was like, oh, my heart, so good. And then her natural tone just really gets to shine on this album. And like I said, she's not doing a lot of acrobatics, but let me say, she does have those big vocal acrobatic moments, and I was, like, going off for those too. You saw in the reactions, but, like, when she's just, like, pulled back and that tone is shining, it's really, like, it's just, she is really talented, and I'm so glad that I'm able to discover her music now. Like, she's definitely an artist who's gonna stand the test of time. I mean, she already has. She's been doing this since 94, so that's, like, 7 years. Like, she's been doing her thing, and she did her thing on this album. She grew so much, and I'm excited to see more of what she can do with her voice in the subsequent albums. Okay, I think that's all I got. Like, those are my feelings for the album. Now I'll tell you my favorite songs. Angel in Disguise, The Boy Is Mine, Learn the Hard Way, Almost Doesn't Count, You Don't Know Me Like You Used To, both the original version and the remix. Truthfully, Have You Ever, Put That on Everything, Happy, and Tomorrow. Like, that's a big chunk of the album. And then my top 3 would be Almost Doesn't Count at number 1. Like, y'all, I seriously love that song. I'm filming this part of the video separate from where I filmed the rest of it. And, like, in the time in between, I've just had Almost Doesn't Count on repeat and repeat and repeat. Like, it's just so light and beautiful, and she just sounds so angelic, and the vibe of that song I really just love. And then that guitar, I love like a nice light acoustic guitar under some like sultry sexy vocals, or yeah, under some sexy sultry vocals. Really love Almost Doesn't Count. My number 2 song would be Put That on Everything. Again, the guitar, like, if you can sing well over a nice little acoustic guitar, you got me. Like, I'm with you forever. And I love how she switches up her voice a few times on this song, like I mentioned earlier. And it just, like, is a testament to all that she's able to do. And she's, again, only 18, 19 here, and she's showing out. And then, let's see. Oh, and then my number 3 would be Happy. Y'all saw my reaction. I loved that. Like, for sure the best up-tempo on the album. And that beat, man, Darkchild. Like, it got me instantly. I was going off. Like, so good. Like, it's just, that beat is addictive, and that song's my jam. Like, that is my song. Like, hey, clap to y'all for all 3 of those. Really, this whole album, but especially those 3. And then my honorable mentions, The Boy Is Mine. I can't believe that's not even in my top 3. I went into this album loving that song, and I still love it, but those other 3 shine. You Don't Know Me Like You Used To. Really like the attitude and the beat on that one. And then Angel in Disguise. That song was such like an experience, like a really cool experience. And then Have You Ever as well. Now those 4 are in no specific order, but I couldn't like leave off without explicitly mentioning those 4. But all really good songs on this album. So my rating. Again, her best on first listen for sure. There was just a few tiny little parts that I maybe could have done without. But still, those are still really good songs. So I would give Never Say Never upon my first listen a 9.5 out of 10. That's the highest rating that I've given one of Brandy's albums so far. And actually, any album on the channel so far. I've only been doing this a month, but like really good. And I feel like it's probably gonna go up the same way B7 did. The more I really get to listen to the album and hear it all the way through, like without having to stop in between each song. Really good. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. And somebody mentioned in the comments that like, the videos cut off some of the runs and stuff that she did on some of these songs. So I'm excited to really listen to this full project all the way through. Brandy, Darkchild, that combination is deadly for everybody else. They really did their thing on this album. I'm excited for more to come. That's all I got on Never Say Never. Really great album. Next up in Brandy's catalog is Full Moon. Don't expect that review right away, though. It'll probably be at least a few weeks before I'm able to get around to it. But there'll be a lot more Brandy content in the meantime. All the unreleased songs and, performances and one-off singles that you guys have been requesting. I'm planning to get around to all that, so much more Brandy to come. Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this album. What are your favorite tracks? Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thanks for stopping by. See y'all next time.